Alright guys, how we doing? Welcome back to another episode of Cash's Conversation Corner. I appreciate you guys for joining me here on my little corner of the internet where I just like to have a conversation with who's ever willing to drop in. So today I'm going to be kind of going over a little bit about the whole Pakistani, the Indian, the war that's going on right now and all the stuff that's happening. And just kind of my little take on that from what I'm seeing and just kind of how I feel about the situation while also looking at some of my favorite other news pundits and what they're talking about and what they're thinking and seeing that's going on. So the first thing I do want to go ahead and do is I'm going to pop this up real quick. I want you guys to know that this is what I use here. Let's see. I just want to show you guys real quick. And I don't get paid to advertise anything. I'm not getting paid for these videos right now either, because nobody's really watching me. But that's cool. I'm figuring things out. Thumbnails, man. I'm realizing that thumbnails are a huge deal. Okay, so this is where I typically go. The ground news. So I love ground news because they show you all of these different articles that people are putting out, and they show you in a reference from left to right, and it's crazy how different everybody headlines their articles. I mean, these sometimes the headings are completely like 100% opposite of each other, so it's pretty crazy. So I just wanted you guys to know that I get a lot of my stuff from ground news. I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not. Oh, was I even? Oh yeah. I'm not perfect. I'm just out here trying to talk to people and talk to, whoever wants to listen and just kind of look at things as well, myself as I'm talking to you about them. So, but please throw hate my way if you want, hate on me for whatever reason. That's cool too. Make me famous. So I wanted you guys to kind of listen a little bit to, we're gonna listen to Tim Pool a little bit. He always has really good insight. And one of the first questions that I had when the videos were first coming out is they were saying like, oh, well, these are from this place and that place, and it's actually not from here, it's from there. I was just curious to see all of the gentlemen on the little scooters. It was like everybody was riding a scooter in this patch. And there's like, I feel like there's certain places where people ride scooters more than others, those types in that fashion. So I felt like looking at that little aspect of it could possibly give you some insight on where that actually occurred just by that little thing right there. But that's that was just my thought when I first saw it. So
Pakistan is vowing revenge and retaliation for this act of war. There are some reports that they're dispatching troops to the border with India, but it's hard to know exactly what's going on. And it seems even in our own government, we don't have a full picture of how far this could go or exactly what has happened. But for those that are not familiar, not that long ago, about 2 weeks ago, there was a terror attack where jihadis went and executed several Hindus in the disputed territories in Kashmir. This has led to an escalation which many fear could bring about nuclear conflict. Now, Pakistan and India both have around 170 nuclear weapons. They are not particularly large, but they are still nuclear weapons and can cause massive damage. It does seem that this conflict is largely isolated between these two groups. However, many are concerned that China will try to intervene in some way to exacerbate the problem and exploit it. And I think it's fair to say many other nations may want to do so as well, because it will have a massive impact on the region, on global trade, and it can be exploited. Now, we've got a lot to break down. Of course, the question of whether or not a nuclear war is inevitable. This from The Spectator this morning. But first, let me give you the quick facts and details that we currently have. Al Jazeera reporting. Pakistan has accused India of committing a blatant act of war and promised retaliation after New Delhi launched deadly missile attacks along their contested border in disputed Kashmir, in the worst eruption of violence between the nuclear-armed neighbors in 2 decades. In an address before Pakistan's parliament on Wednesday, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif denounced as cowardly the attack carried out by India, as he repeated Islamabad's assertion it had nothing to do with the April 22nd Pahalgam attack in the Indian-administered Kashmir region. Quote, "The deliberate targeting of civilians, including innocent women and children, by the Indian military constitutes a heinous and shameful crime that is in violation of all norms of human behavior and the provisions of international law." Earlier, Defense Minister Khawaja Muhammad Asif also declared that Islamabad won't take long to settle the score and said military operations were already underway. India launched a huge military bombardment overnight called Operation Sindoor, striking 9 sites in Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir and killing at least 26 people. In response, Pakistan said it struck Indian military targets and claimed to have shot down several warplanes, resulting in at least 10 deaths. The latest number that we had yesterday was that 5 Indian fighters were shot down.
Well, now this sounds like it's getting kind of crazy. That, like, the first thing that I keep thinking of is like the fog of war, man. All this stuff is going on. Everybody's posting these clips and saying all this stuff, and it seems like everybody's like, it's always somebody else's fault. That's what it always is, and it just almost doesn't even matter at this point. Anything could kick anything off. Like like either it be a false flag or something that actually is really happening. It just seems like things are kind of going towards more of a hot point. I want you guys to tune in to Tim and watch the rest of his video, but it breaks it down and just says, like, you know, anything could kick off World War III. Like, it doesn't have to be anything specific. It doesn't have to be anything real. It really. Or this could just be how it is, and the way things are shifting around the world, this is just what it's come to. So I personally don't think things are going to get nuclear. There are crazy people, but at this point it just seems like unless you just don't want to live and you have the ability to make that decision for all of your country people as well, then I don't see anybody doing anything that crazy. So, but never know, man. Always check out, do your research, check out different news sources. Don't just stick to one source, man. This is not the day and age to stick to one source of news. Get out there, figure stuff out. Check out Ground News. Check out Timcast. He keeps things real, and he always puts up the articles where he's getting the stuff from. And he reads from places that aren't always that credible. When things are lining up with what is actually going on, he cites them, and then he cites other ones. He wants you to kind of get a full spectrum of the information that's out there. And that's kind of how I feel, too. So thank you for joining me here on Cash's Conversation Corner. If you liked me, if this was awesome, great. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and always leave a comment and let's have a conversation about it. Thank you very much, guys. Have a good one. Peace out.